Hello, I'm Leanne and I'm a multimedia book artist, and today we're going to continue on the scavenger hunt. If you don't know what it is, I'll put a link up for you. I'm continuing on here. I already sewed the spine into a piece of cardboard and I just used Elmer's glue to attach it to this cover. So I was really impressed with how well it held there. I was shocked, to be honest. So I'm going to try Elmer's glue again. So as you make your book, it's nice to pull out your cover and just get an idea of where you're going with your cover. It just helps re-ground you. And I've decided to use this green piece of cardstock. Not cardstock, but designer paper. So putting it in there, deciding I'm going to have a pocket, and what I want to do is do a punch to make a little hole for the top. And there it is. Punch. That's one of the items on the scavenger hunt. Yay! So unfortunately this punch didn't punch through splendidly, so I had to hand cut it. But you can see there it created a little notch. So adding notches like that, that's nice because you can move things more easily in and out of a pocket. So a nice pocket. Another thing to do with a pocket like this is I'm working on adding a little something at the top, something to add a little bit more bling. So just a little piece. You can grab any of your scraps, try them out, try different colors, different styles, and then find something that you feel good about. I felt good about this, so I'm putting that up, just peeking over at the top, and I put that on both sides. I like it. So the next thing that I want to do is create little hinges for my pocket. So if you were to put just glue on your pocket right there, it would lay really flat. But if you put a hinge like this, it's just a 1-inch piece of paper that's folded, and put it at the top. Mine doesn't even go all the way down to the bottom, but put it on both sides, opening up to the inside like that. And then you just have extra space for whatever you're going to put in your pocket. When you glue it all the way down. You can see how I glue the area that doesn't have that hinge portion on it, so it will adhere. And the last thing I do is I do a little notch. If you do a little notch out of that piece, you're less likely to see it sticking out of the top of your pocket. So position it, and there you go. Fun little pocket. The next thing is Project Life. That's a great thing, an easy thing that you can use in your junk journals. Now I just tuck some in. I may not use them. I have them there though. So I decided to turn the material there into a pocket. So for me, I like using the glue gun. Quick, easy, place it down, and I have a sweet pocket. So just keep in mind that that's something you can do with that excess fabric when you've got your signature sewn in. You usually don't have to worry about lace fraying, so I'm not turning that under or anything. I'm just cutting the edge straight and then laying a little down. I'm not going to use that top part as a pocket between the lace and the fabric. I think it would have just a little bit too much give and be a little unruly. So there you go. I have a pocket. Must say though, I wasn't thrilled with that card right there. So I just pulled up my cardstock and just made a nice little pocket to put in there, or a little card to put in my pocket, and I just felt better about that. Paper clip, mark that off the list. So paper clips are awesome to use anywhere. I don't know what I'm going to do this one. I'm just going to do something. So for now, I put this file folder tag there. File folder tags are great to have made ahead of time and just ready to go. So pulling out my paper one more time and just working it, and I decided I want to put lighter color things in the inside. I felt like it flowed better rather than the other cards I had. Here's a greeting card. I can mark that off my list. This is a set I got at the dollar store. They're just adorable. So I go ahead, cut off that, and then after you cut off that front, you still can use the back for making tags and things out of. So that's fabulous. So once again, the Elmer's glue, just using Elmer's glue, glue it up, place it on there, and I've got a lovely opening to my book. So watercolor, I can mark that off my list. I'm using my Tim Holtz dyes as watercolor, just smushing it down, spritzing it up, and I'm just making little polka dots, using each of the colors, placing polka dots. It just adds a little bit of interest, and it looks, I just like the look that it makes, quite frankly. So I got that in there, but I still want to stay with my tag, so I'm grabbing a paper clip again and keeping that on. To add a little bit more ribbon, I have that on a little spool there. I like having these little spools instead of big bolts of ribbon, because I can just grab a bunch of spools and try out the colors. So that's where I am right now. It's a sweet spread, but to be honest, I want to do more. I don't want to stop there. So I take a cupcake liner, boom, that's on the list too, mark it off. So I'm auditioning it here, scrunching it up, trying it, squishing it in. It makes a great ruffle, but I'm not thrilled with it right here. It just doesn't do what I want to do. But what I do have is this other pink trim, this pom-pom trim, and it's got more of a burst of color that I want. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull out my handy glue gun, and I'm going to glue that on. Now when I glue something like that on, I do it in just little portions. I don't know how you do it, but I would recommend small portions because the glue dries really fast, and you do have to handle the trim or whatever you're putting on a little bit to make sure it's in the right spot. So it just works out well doing it in a little. Cheesecloth, mark it off. Cheesecloth, if you use cheesecloth, it just adds a nice little wispy feeling. It doesn't take a lot of attention, but it changes up the page. So cheesecloth is a great tool to use in your junk journals. I use it all the time, actually. So it just depends upon the look that you'd like. If you'd like your book more clean lined without the little extra doodads, that's great. But I really like the doodads. I like the little extra stuff. So this is the next thing I pull out. I want to bring the pink over to the other side of the page. I had this in my stash. It's crepe paper streamers. You know, like birthday streamers that you use? I cut it into little strips and then I sewed it onto an anchor piece of paper, pushing it to make the ribbon, and it just works fabulously in books. So I put a little down, place it on my page, and it just brings that color and it brings a little bit more balance. Personally, I like it. I really like it. Once again, get my little tag back on. So I decide to do a little bit more to this piece. Well, I hadn't cleaned up my watercolor from the previous one, but before I do that, I saw some washi tape, and boom, I'm using the washi tape. Another thing I can cross off my list. Washi is awesome. So I can either have it with the washi part out, or I can put it with the watercolor. I give it a little more water, so if you have your watercolor out for a little bit, you can reinvigorate it by spritzing it. And then I go ahead and I just do all the dots just like before. Each color. The yellow is a little harder to work. But they're really, I've had these inks forever, and they do so much, including this. I love this as an option. Dotting away, and it just has a wonderful spring feel. It brings all those colors in, and really this first page is going to set the tone for the rest of the book, the colors that I lay here. So I decide to go at that side, and there you go. There's my page for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll have more coming up with the next pages and the next pieces from the scavenger hunt. So I'll put a link if you haven't seen the beginning of the scavenger hunt, and also where you can find the digital. Have a great day. Bye.